Good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Crimes with your host, Michelle Sutton, and co-host this morning, or afternoon, sorry, seriously, Kristen. So,
Hello.
hello. So,
Things are starting to pop off before you're popping off Thursday, so.
Right, I know, we, hey D, hey Cool Gamer. As you guys come in, please hit that like. Please say hello so that we can say hello back to you. I will go ahead and, I have the banner rolling at the bottom. Today's discussion is very disturbing. I even made sure that was in the title. The prosecutors this morning had no, empathy for Brian Walshe. From those that were in the courtroom, hey Michael, it is described as a chilling feeling, and the details that emerged, I just,
and those are being described by the likes of Ashley Banfield, who went up to Massachusetts to go into the courtroom. So a lot of the big mainstream media hightailed it probably yesterday.
Even Ashley Banfield this morning, watching her video, her segment that she did outside of the courtroom, outside of the courthouse, she was trying to put the words together, and even Ashley Banfield had no words. Good morning, Katie M. Good morning, Dee. Hello, Tiny Dancer.
And then Dee, your question was, is Michelle going to go over them? Yes.
I am.
She is. I'm going to let her do it, and she can get me in there if she needs any assistance with anything. But just to prepare everybody, there's no way to really tone down the gruesomeness of this. So
I did try to. I did. I discovered. I did write in my own words, you guys, and I'm going to read what I wrote, and I tried to tone it down the best way possible, but this is just one of those that's not going to be possible. So I do advise that you do watch this cautiously. If you are easily triggered, this is not going to be the episode for you. It's not going to be a long episode. It's just kind of, I want to get this out there, stay ahead of it. I'm not sure how else to fight the algorithm. So maybe if I do multiple lives a day. So we're just going to kind of have to play with things. Tiny Dancer, absolutely. I agree with every word you just said. So I'm just going to read it and we'll go from there, you guys. Okay, here we go. On Wednesday morning, Walshe was present in the Quincy District Court located in Massachusetts. This happened the day after authorities accused him of murder and illegal disposal of human remains. Prosecutors have gathered a plethora of evidence to prove that Walshe murdered his wife close to the beginning of the year, then dismembered and disposed of the remains. This includes a bloody knife found in their basement, among other items. Walsh is alleged to have paid $450 in cash at Home Depot, which was captured on surveillance video, for cleaning supplies, tarps, and mops. This is added to other evidence that has been found. On January 4th, on the day Anna Walsh went missing and police spoke to her employer, Brian Walsh purchased towels, a squeegee, and a trash can from Home Goods, TJ Maxx, and Lowe's. Prosecutors revealed upon arriving at the house, authorities noticed Brian Walsh's Volvo had a plastic liner with seats down. Later on, the liner had disappeared, and there were obvious signs of vacuuming, as reported by prosecutors. On January 5th, the search for Anna Walsh was made public, with Brian Walsh's phone records showing that he first went to a daycare center and then to his mother's apartment complex in Swampscott, approximately 40 miles away from Cohasset. Surveillance video recorded him at the premises of the complex near a dumpster. Oh, hold on. I gotta scroll down. After the dumpster had been relocated to the waste transfer station in Peabody, which is located 5 miles north, officials conducted an investigation and discovered 10 garbage bags, some of which had indications such as blood and duct tape. They also discovered a COVID injection record for Anna Walsh, a hacksaw, cutting shears, an axe, various articles of clothing, and a Prada handbag consistent with what Brian Walsh reported seeing his wife carrying before she went missing. Investigators were able to link both Brian and Anna Walsh's DNA to the slippers in the trash bags, as well as Anna's DNA on some of the clothing discovered. On January 8th, investigators searched the house and discovered blood in the basement, as well as a damaged blade knife with blood on it, another blade, an oversized tarp, and plastic sheets. Subsequently, authorities apprehended him on the same day. No recent activity was found on Anna Walsh's credit cards. However, phone records show that the device was in use at her family's residence until 3:14 a.m. on January 2nd, after which point it appears to have been shut off, according to prosecutors. Prosecutors also pointed to an internet search they said Brian Walsh made December 27th. What's the best state to divorce from? As per a court order. Wait, hold on. I'm missing my. Dang it. I'm missing some of my stuff. So we're going to have to pull some stuff off of the internet because some of my stuff is. Grab. I don't know how. I guess I deleted it somehow because I had the whole spiel about. We'll go with this article. There's a really, really good article that I read. Maybe this one was it.
Do you remember who wrote it, Michelle? Because I could find it for you real fast.
I think I got it.
Okay. And Dee wanted to send an email. I'm assuming you mean that to Michelle. So, hey, Sluggy, if one of the mods can go ahead and put Michelle's email in there, that would be great.
Okay. I'm not going to read it word for word. In the days after her disappearance, Brian Walsh allegedly had made Google searches. And what's sad is he'd done this on his son's iPad, you guys. Okay. There were searches such as 10 ways to dispose of a dead body, if you really needed to, dismemberment of the best ways to dispose of a body. Can you be charged with a murder without a body? Can you identify a body with broken teeth? He continued to search, odd things how to dispose of a 115-pound body. Um, and let's just note that the man is not smiling today and that he did, you know, plead not guilty. And I'm pretty sure his young children were not searching on their iPad for ways to dismember their mother's body. There was several uh, videos, surveillance videos that caught Walshe. One and they were able to trace that dumpster to the waste station in Peabody, and in there they were able to relocate 10 bags, um, which I did describe some of the things that were in those bags, but they were able to match the DNA. They did not put that out this morning as to how they matched it, but we know last week they had orders to test the children. Um, so there was also like a hazmat suit type where Anna's and Brian's DNA was found on the outside and on the inside of that suit that he disposed of.
Correct. And he did buy this suit. It was amongst the $450 worth of cleaning supplies. It's a Tyvek. So those protective suits with the slippers on them that you see a lot of times at crime scenes, just basically protective wear. They were able to have that on video that he purchased it, and then they were able to link that DNA on inside and outside of the Tyvek suit, which is very damning to him.
Very much. They I don't think they're going to. They did say that what we had already said last week, that we were sure that by now, and it's horrible to have to even think about, but they believe that her remains have already been incinerated at that waste center. What they do is they take that waste and they put it through incinerators and make energy. Um, so, I whether he did dismember her has they have no way to prove that. They just have, the enough evidence to say most likely, considering there's different weapons. At this point we have a hacksaw, we have cutting shears, we have multiple blades, we have axe. There's the rug. He searched like how to get blood from wood floors. I mean, there's just, needless to say, he did not have that smug smile on his face this morning. No.
Welcome in, Juju.
They haven't found. They did not make that announcement in the court this morning.
I mean, it could be possible because he disposed in different places, and I mean, he went out of his way to make sure that.
Oh yeah, because
whatever was going to go to Peabody, because Peabody is the incinerator location versus the other dumpsters that go to other places. So he had enough forethought on that.
They did say that some was taken to Peabody and some things were taken to his mother's apartment complex dumpster, and they're going by his phone records, which I'm confused as to why they're not using the GPS on his monitor. I mean, he's on an electric monitor. Wouldn't that be?
I think that will come into play I think he believes that it wasn't tracking him as well as it should have or wasn't going to. I think they're going to know more and they're going to be able to um, provide that as testimony. But that is also something that you got to get that from, he's dealing with federal charges and parole and all that. So they've got to get that from that side, but it wasn't necessarily needed for today's hearing. So I think that's something that they're going to get that subsequent information and be able to provide that if necessary and trial as well. But I will tell you that I got to back up because I don't want to miss it. And Dee, I'm sorry you were in the hospital with COVID.
I didn't know, Dee. I'm so sorry.
But we're glad you were here with us, and we're glad you fought a good fight, and that you're doing better. So Sluggy, the man is very, very deranged. So we do have reports that in his youth, his father had sent him to psych hospital. Yes, he's been quote unquote deemed as a sociopath, but I think there's more to it than that, and we'll get more into that as the trial goes on. I think his smugness and his defensive team is just going to try to put this on circumstantial evidence. I thought he was going to go insanity plea, but when you have the forethought on December 27th to look about what's the best place to get a divorce, you obviously were having some thoughts about all of this. So, as this goes on, I'd be happy to, like I said, talk about the psych side of it. If you cover it, I can help you with that as well. But we're going to see a lot of psychology played out in this trial because he's going to rely heavily on that. But I don't think he can very easily go after the insanity plea as much as I thought he would, given his searches on his son's iPad of all things. So,
yeah. Now, I do want to. Is it? Hold on.
Oh, hey, Ellie. Ellie slid in here too.
Ellie, hey, Ellie. No, he said he got lost on the way to his mother's, and it was an extra 30 minutes on his drive. So I'm not quite sure why he felt like he would. I'm trying to find the article where we talked about what his. I know you just sent it to me. Oh, here it is. This is what Brian Walsh's lawyer had to say, you guys. The lawyer's response was, "It is easy to charge a crime and even easier to say a person committed that crime. It is a much more difficult thing to prove it, which we will see if the prosecution can do. I am not going to comment on the evidence first because I am going to try this case in the court and not in the media. Second, because I haven't been provided with any evidence by the prosecution in my experience, whereas here, the prosecution leaks so-called evidence to the press before they provide it to me. Their case isn't that strong. When they have a strong case, they give me everything as soon as possible. We shall see what they have and what evidence is admissible in court, where the case will ultimately be decided. Although it is probably fruitless, I ask that you not inundate my office. Don't call his office, y'all. Don't call his office. Or his home or his cell phone with media request. I will not be given any media statements, interviews, or comments. I intend to win this case in court, not in media, which has already been tried and convicted Mr. Walsh." So his lawyer sounds like just as big of a prick as him, and I have no problem saying that. Like, right, D.
So yes, we need to prepare. So this is not a death penalty state. So he's going to have to serve his federal charges on top of life without the possibility of parole. It would be the best that they could do. So, we're not dealing with the Texases and the Oklahomas and stuff like that. So we just have to prepare ourselves that this is the max he can get is life in prison.
And you guys, I do want to. I'm pulling up my YouTube in the background so that I can drop.
KTM, I would say today might be the world's dumbest criminal, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure somebody else will step up to the plate and give Brian Walshe a run for his money. But
I mean, you guys, please hit the like button, please. There's Sluggy. I'm about to add you as a mod so you can drop Juju's link for her video. You guys, at 2 o'clock, Juju is going to be doing. She's going to be releasing a live video on the remains that were found in Virginia that people have taken that story and rumored it in connection with Madalena's. So if you have heard that rumor, this is definitely a video that you want to watch. And she's going to do that at 2. This one I said was not going to be long. If you guys have any comments on what came out today, we can talk about that. Thank you, Leo girl. I can't even put words together. It's like, it's just like, okay, this is one I haven't talked about, Kristen, but
yeah.
I have kind of like forgotten about it. But the one with the head.
Oh, the decapitation one in Texas. Okay, that'll get going, and I'll get that information for you. I mean, 2023 has just popped off really, really hardcore, and like I'm trying to do my channel too, but I keep giving Michelle stuff, and like I can't. We're just both working these cases as we get them, and there's just so many of them. But yeah, there's a Texas one, young married couple that. The husband decapitated her. So we'll get you that info and present that as well. But just be patient because Michelle's learning all these new things to do with videos, and they're just every single day something's popping off. And these cases, these victims, they deserve the justice, and they deserve to have their story told in the most respectful way possible. So that's what we're trying to do. But it's a lot. So be patient with us, but we'll get it to you. And yes, Logie and Juju are doing some great work with Madalena, so follow them. But this Walshe case, nothing is going to court before February, so we'll have a little reprieve with that. It's they're gonna try to get all the documents over to defense, and then they'll have to proceed from there because he's pled not guilty, and that's not going to change. He's just going to fight this till the end. So be prepared for that to have more stuff that comes out in February. Madalena's case in March, and then Michelle and I are on standby to figure out when and if we're going to go into the courtroom with Quentin. So just lots of stuff happening. But we'll get it all to you.
We do know that Leilani will be in court next Wednesday. That was not originally scheduled. That just popped up over the last week. But she's asked that the DSS be brought open. But because that is a DSS thing, I don't know that will be something that we'll be able to see.
No,
Or
we won't be able to see that. So what she and her counsel did is they asked the court to be able to have on camera review of the DCF. It's CPS, but it's a different alphabet. So DFCS, I think, is in Georgia. So basically, they want to review the records that CPS has had on her for all three children, all three dads, anything and everything that has pertained to Leilani since the time that she started having children. This has nothing to do with whether she had history prior when she was before the age of 18. This has nothing to do with that. That would be stuff with her own parents. This is just since she had Zane and then the subsequent other children. So she wants to review this. The reason she and her counsel want to review this is because they want to see if there's anything prejudicial to her getting a fair trial. The dicey thing with doing this, in my opinion, is if you open the door to the CPS files, all that stuff can come out, and maybe they didn't want it to come out, and then they can have, there's a right to ask witnesses, and there's a right to, getting all this other information, and there could be more that comes out than what's actually in those files. So it's a very dicey thing to do when you look at those files. They also could become more public because you have people, whether it's not a live stream in that courtroom or not, you have people that are in there that can get that confidential information should they take that to court. So they're just that's what this hearing is about. They're just trying to get review of those files and see if there's anything prejudicial that's not going to allow her to have a fair trial, and if there's anything they want left out or anything they think that's going to help their case. So
I will keep my mouth shut on that.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's going to be anything in DSS that would have stopped you from
doing what you did.
Yeah. If it hadn't been with Quentin, it would have been with someone.
Well, they can look at what services she might have been given before, if any any attempts that she might have made to rehabilitate herself, that was recorded. They may be looking at all that. So they have a right to look at it. But I know when I've said this before, CPS stuff is way under lock and key. So this is something they really had to petition the judge for the opportunity to see, and their viewing it has to be done on camera. That's how strict it is. So, we'll see how that plays out, but I just don't see how it's going to help her. But I mean, prove me wrong. I'll be fine if you prove me wrong. So, yes, hashtag Quentin Simon, poor baby.
I still can't believe Nicholas Cruz didn't get it. It just blows my mind. Oh, they're talking about the death penalty. Does anyone know where the rest of the children are? Yes, they are still in foster. Those children will not.
Right. So
if those children are placed, there's the only thing that I can see at this point is the possibility of the bio fathers receiving the other children, but that will not happen before. That'll be a while.
Yeah, so both cases with Leilani and this Walshe case, those kids are in with CPS. For the Walshe case, they're trying to keep those kids together, first and foremost. Her family from Moldova is trying to get here, and I think that they're going to try to keep the kids together and raise them. I do know her friends have been wonderful in trying to work with CPS and do what they needed to do if they need to be looked at to help, keep the kids together with them temporarily until grandparents get here. I mean, they're keeping the dog, everybody is, all of Anna's friends are doing right by her, and I applaud them for doing that. As for Leilani, I mean, we don't hear any information, so we can just assume by how it started that Zane's father had interest in getting custody of him, as did his father, the paternal grandfather. So that may be how that plays out. I do know BJ wants the kids, but don't think it's going to happen. But she can give herself a good old try to get that to happen. As for Sky, that would be up to Danny if he wants to raise her, or if anybody in his family wants to petition to raise her. So, at any rate, the Sane and Sky, I believe, are still placed together. So,
yeah. Um, it's just a horrible. All of these cases, like all of these cases that we just the beginning of the year. I mean, yeah, Yes, Madalena's case, was carried over from the end of last year, but most of it has taken place in the new year, and it's just, the Idaho 4 is just. I'm waiting. Like I'm trying to. I'm. I don't feel like right now there's anything unless there's a plot twist. I don't think there's anything that you can really like the online media can really that social media can really do at this point. I mean that
yeah,
was a
since that's in
major
June,
twist.
I mean, I think the bulk of whatever he's going to do in Idaho 4 is just kind of, you know, process it any which way. If there's other family members or friends that want to talk, the gag orders for um, the lawyers and law enforcement. So that doesn't stop the extended family members and friends if they want to give an account of the alleged suspect or the other four um, victims. So that pretty much is what anybody can really cover. And I mean, you can cover also the legalities of it and what are the odds of this going forward, him getting the conviction, all that. So that's going to be kind of what it is for Idaho 4 until June. They're just not going to be able to say much else. Oh, hi, Kirsten. I didn't see you come in.
Oh, presume I didn't see you come in either. I cry when I run over a bunny on accident. Oh, I know. Like I hit a bird. Well, I didn't hit a bird. A bird flew into my car, and oh, like it tore me up. I was like, it's a bird. Like, why am I even? But it's still. I mean, it wasn't my fault, but still, like, I don't know.
I mean, ask Michelle. She was on the receiving end of my phone call yesterday. That with the few choice words that I gave to her that I wanted to give to Brian Walshe. It's there. I'm not well, Brian Walshe and Ivan Adams. Like these are why, like why, Mr. Walshe. If you wanted to divorce her, then just divorce her.
Right.
No harm, no foul.
Right.
Go on your way. Dude, you're going into prison anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But Ivan Adams and Alicia, I mean, come. I would love to go and talk to them. Mm-hmm. Mm. And I'm being tame now because Michelle was on
Yes,
the other end of
because
that phone call.
yes, I would. That may be one where we sit down and we actually do some sub theory speculation just because there is some contradicting things in the Athena case.
Yes.
Um, i.e., that post that I found a week before
Mm-hmm.
describing the whole entire scenario. Um, it's just odd to me that someone knew that information, including where Athena's
Remains were.
Where Athena's remains were, and the big branch that was covered.
Sluggy's coming for the speculation. We'll do a fun little. I don't want to say fun, but we'll do a. We can do a live on that.
Not proven fact show.
Yeah, we can do. We can segue from the norm and kind of process it out on the live, but I mean, I don't know if y'all have been to zoos where you see the monkeys and the apes like throwing poop at each other, I was like, this is what this Athena Brownfield's going to be.
Yeah.
These two people are going to just start throwing words and crap at each other because they just want to get off. And I just think Alicia has more culpability in this than we all know, and that's going to play out. But right now, Ivan's taking the brunt of it. So, yeah.
I'm interested to see what the time of death really is.
And that they should. I mean, okay, so we go back to, and this is what I was telling Michelle yesterday. So Gabby Petito wasn't found for about a month, 3 to 4 weeks afterwards. They were still able to determine manner and time of death. Athena is 2 weeks. So we should get answers with Athena. Way more answers than we could ever get with Anna Walshe because of what he did to Anna. But there should be manner and there should be DNA and all that on Athena. And I think that now that they got the remains yesterday, who they haven't, Emmy hasn't said for sure it's her, but we know it's on the property. I think they're going to be able to have a lot more concrete evidence. So
Sluggy said, "I'm her voice of reason." Sometimes I feel like my voice isn't even a reason to even listen to myself. Like, I don't know, these cases. I said this morning, I told Sluggy I was taking the day off because I had a dream last night and it just messed me all up. And then this stuff came out and I was like, nope, I have to talk about this. Like, I can't just sit here.
Yeah.
You missed what, honey?
Hey, Weezy.
Easy. I didn't think you would drop in this early.
Hey, Addicted to Art and
Watch
Crime.
the replay.
No problem that you're late. You can kind of watch it. This won't be a long live, but yeah, I think the plot twist in this is we're going to find that very quickly here. The female caregiver is going to have additional charges as well.
Ellie, they didn't, but I think that was because the media was already, the helicopter was already over.
Yeah.
And so, hi, Addicted. Well, Weezy, hi and love you. Ethel, who's Ethel?
I think it was a typo. I think it's supposed to be Ellie.
I think it's Kursuma. That's what she calls. No.
I thought it was for Ellie. I thought it was a typo. If there's other information that you think you might want on a case that Michelle's covered, send her an email, send her a message, and we'll try to get you that info.
Yeah.
If there's another case that, I'm just giving her cases left and right, and she's like, stop. It's just too much, stop. But if there's something you want covered, you can email it to her or email it to me, and I can see what I can put together for her. So, Megan Boswell. I don't know, Michelle, we haven't talked about it. Do you want to cover Megan Boswell?
I haven't. I'll have to look into it. So, okay, let me explain how, you guys, okay, obviously, there's just no way that I can cover every single case, which I know that when I was covering Kylie's case, in the beginning, my audience was huge. And so it was easier to Like if I could get my group that big again, then we would be able to cover more than what we're covering. Um, and I used this analogy yesterday. Um, these children and even the adults, they need someone to carry the torch. We just don't have enough people to carry the torch. So we need more people willing to light that flame and you know because obviously there's no way. I mean it literally has it's a team effort with Madalena, and I can't be more grateful for the team that I have been that I was able to get into with Madalena's case. Um, some of the locals, we've told them, this was their first case in the true crime community, and we've told them, nope, you're sticking around after this with other cases. Like you're part of us now. Um, and I think that's probably one of my favorite things about this community is growing those relationships, building those relationships with people that you've come in contact with that you would have never have come in contact if you weren't trying to find these babies and find the answers and bring them home. Thank you, Mani. Um, yes, I love trials too. Like I will be like glued.
So, and this is one way we can look at doing the trials, because there'll be a lot of them. So if Megan Boswell's not till 2025, we do have time. We can look that up. But what we might do, Michelle, and you can think about this, is Michelle can give you a lot of background on her channel, and then on my channel we'll just be doing like some live streaming of the actual trials itself together. So
Yeah.
That Michelle could give you the background, the facts of the case, and then we could just kind of watch trials together over there and break down what we're seeing and whatnot. So, but there's a lot of trials coming up. I mean, we got Murdaugh coming up. We got the Vallow case. We got a lot of stuff coming up. So,
Oh, and I do want to make a poll
mm-hmm.
and see if because for some reason my community post gets plenty of attention. I don't even know how many comments I just replied to before this live feed. I don't know how my community post gets more views than my videos. It's crazy. But I do want to make one where we do a poll and see if we want to go back to some of the older cases, like one night a week where we go back to an older case. Like I want to go back and look over Summer Wells. We're coming up on 2 years that baby's been missing. That was one of the ones that I mean, like I literally stayed on like I kept YouTube on the TV watching that case, and my husband would just get so frustrated, and he was like, "You're not getting in. There's nothing new." And I'm like, "I don't care. They might say something that triggers something that makes me think of something. You just sit there and watch." Um, and yeah, I know, Addicted. I watched it. Did you? I don't know. I mean, like, I don't post all that much on my community post because I always kind of forget about them. I need to like make a schedule that when I get up in the mornings, I make a community post of whatever, you know. The one from yesterday that I did with Athena's photo, it's gotten a lot of attention. There was one with Madalena last week that got a lot of attention, and it got shared quite a bit too. Um, and someone asked, I hope you don't mind if I share. No, I do not mind at all. Like, I'm not going to put out anything that I don't feel like needs to be shared. Everything that I put out is because it needs to be put out there. Um, and it's going to be, fact that you can share. And I don't mind it being shared. So by all means, hit that share button. Um, or screenshot it and post it. My feelings will not be hurt.
And I will say that with going back in some of the cases, we can only go back so far because there's just so much material to cover. But like there are some newer channels that are starting that are trying to cover missing cases that have been going on for a year or two. Addicted to Art and Crime can put a link in there if she wants for Killshot's channel. I know Foxfire wants to cover some cases that are older and shine them a little light too. So when she gets up and going with that, we'll continue to advocate for her coverage as well. But there's
I may have to go get that link. Hold on. What is?
It's missing persons with confusing stories.
You messed me up. I liked the social experiment.
Yeah. So, we're all doing the best we can do. Sluggy's over there doing what she's doing, and it's great coverage. But we're just there's just so much information. So
rock star, like she's a rock star.
Yeah. Or Kasuma might have Killshot's link if you can't find it. But at any rate, there'll be some good information coming up, some content. Michelle's getting a lot better with her videos. And so she's wanting to do stuff with that. Thank you, Kursuma, for all your help with all that.
Yes. A new intro is coming. I can tell you that. The new intro will be coming for the channel. I just got to have some pretty weather to be able to go get to get some footage and some photos. Let's see, go back over here. All right, I'm dropping Killshot's link. There's Killshot's link. He's doing Angel
Overstreet.
Yeah.
And that's a baby that's been missing since she was 3 months old. Yeah, it's a head scratcher.
Ellie, John Bonet was like, I was young when that come out, and it was like the case that scared me of being like kidnapped. Like that was the one. But I still follow. I followed it, even though it scared me. It was, probably one of my youngest ones. And then serial killer wise, you guys, my parents probably thought I was crazy because I was so into the serial killer stuff. But I did teach my parents a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah.
So, all right, you guys. I'm gonna drop off. I'm going over to Juju's to watch the story on the body found in Virginia. That I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's been identified yet, but hopefully soon. So, let's. The link is up there if you want to join us. At least go like and subscribe it. And I will see you guys later tonight. Because I'm gonna do another one today. Just for the nighttime audience. So, and I'm gonna fix my article that I wrote because I don't know how I deleted some of that. So, I will see you guys soon. I love ya.
Bye, all. Have a good day.